2026 is really shaping up to be a pivotal year for India's entire financial system. The country's central bank, the Reserve Bank of India, is basically navigating a perfect storm of global pressures and homegrown challenges. And all of this is kicking off one of the biggest regulatory resets we've seen in a long time.
And it all starts with this one number, 92. In early 2026, the Indian rupee just plunged to a historic low, hitting 92 against the US dollar. Now, this wasn't just some number on a trading screen, no way. This was a blaring red alert alarm bell signaling some serious stress in the economy. So, that brings us to the big question, right? When you're facing that kind of unprecedented pressure, what is the RBI actually doing about it? And this isn't just about putting out fires. We're talking about a fundamental overhaul to get ready for whatever comes next.
All right, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First up, we'll look at the economic crossroads that really set off this whole situation. Then, we'll dive into the RBI's big solutions, locking down the digital rupee, making banking work for everyone, and really building the future of money. And to wrap it all up, we'll get into why this massive reset is such a big deal.
So let's set the scene. What in the world happened back in early 2026? How did India's economy, which was booming, suddenly arrive at this make-or-break moment?
The whole situation is a huge paradox. On one hand, India's seen record growth, massive investment pouring in. But on the other hand, it's getting hammered by these intense global headwinds. This image really captures that tension perfectly, a really complex mix of opportunity and serious risk.
Okay, so the specifics here are fascinating. It wasn't just the rupee's fall. You had foreign investors pulling huge amounts of money out of the stock market. Then there was this global financial tremor caused by the yen carry trade unwinding. That's basically when investors who borrowed cheap Japanese yen to invest elsewhere all rushed for the exits at once. It caused a worldwide credit crunch. And all of that led to a serious cash shortage right inside India's own banking system.
So how did the RBI respond to this immediate fire? With this absolutely staggering figure, 1.25 trillion rupees. That's the amount of cash the central bank said it would pump directly into the system to, stop the bleeding and get some stability back. It was a massive, decisive move.
But look, just putting out the fire wasn't going to be enough. The RBI knew it had to reinforce the entire financial structure, and it started with the very heart of the modern economy, digital banking. India's digital transformation has been amazing, for sure. But it's a bit of a double-edged sword. All that rapid growth brought new dangers with it. A huge spike in digital fraud, security standards that just couldn't keep up, and this terrifying new idea of a bank run happening at the speed of the internet. The old rules just weren't built for this new world.
And right here, we see the RBI's playbook. The whole overhaul kicked off on January 1st with new digital banking directions, all about security and user consent. Then, from April 1st, two more huge rules came into play. First, way stronger authentication, like biometrics, making it much harder for fraudsters. And second, banks now have to hold more cash in reserve, these digital deposit buffers, to make sure they can handle the pressure of a potential high-speed digital bank run.
Okay, so securing the system is half the battle. But the RBI also wants to make sure that all the benefits of this new digital economy are actually available to everyone, not just a handful of people.
Now, the key to this is something called the Basic Savings Bank Deposit Account, or BSBD. The easiest way to think about it is as the most fundamental, no-frills bank account out there, designed specifically to bring more and more people into the formal financial system.
And here's the real game changer. Coming into effect on April 1st, 2026, the RBI's mandate is simple but so powerful. First step, every single bank has to offer these basic accounts, no exceptions. Step 2, and this is huge, all digital banking services for these accounts have to be completely free. And finally, the RBI is cracking down on other fees to make sure these accounts stay truly accessible for everyone.
So, the system is being secured, and it's being made more inclusive. But the RBI is also looking even further ahead, preparing India for the next evolution of finance itself.
In 2026, we're seeing a major push on a bunch of different fronts. The pilot for India's own digital currency, the e-Rupee, is getting much bigger. There are new guidelines coming for digital wallets, and critically, the RBI is making sure the e-Rupee can work seamlessly with the UPI system everyone already uses, which is a vital step if you want people to actually adopt it. And finally, the rules for payment companies are getting expanded to cover everything from your local shop all the way to international transactions.
So, after looking at all these individual pieces, The crisis, the quick response, and the long-term reforms, what's the big takeaway? Why does this regulatory reset really, truly matter?
At the end of the day, it all comes down to one simple word: trust. Every single one of these new rules and initiatives, everything we've talked about, is designed to build and maintain public confidence in an economy that is rapidly becoming digital first. Because without that trust, the whole system just falters.
And you know, this quote from the source material really just sums it up perfectly. This wasn't some random collection of changes. It was a direct, timely, and absolutely necessary response to real-world pressures, with the ultimate goal of ensuring long-term financial stability for the whole country.
And that leaves us with the big, forward-looking question, doesn't it? The RBI has built stronger walls and a more inclusive foundation. But as these global economic storms continue to gather on the horizon, will this bold regulatory reset be enough to secure India's financial future? I guess only time will tell.
Hey, if you found this breakdown of the RBI's reset helpful, please do us a favor and give this a like, share it with your network, and definitely subscribe for more explainers like this. We'd love to hear what you think, so please drop your feedback and any questions in the comments below. Thanks for watching.